Hey folks, Rick Lynch here, U.S. Army Lieutenant General retired and the author of Adapt or Die, Leadership Principles of the American General. Here we are on the 3rd of July, and as I pause and reflect on what we're going to experience tomorrow on Independence Day, I have some concerns. Sarah and I live here in the Metroplex, and as I drive around, I see ads about firework displays and sales, and I see newspaper ads talking about the great things we're going to do with barbecues tomorrow, and that's all well and good. But what we have to do once a year as a nation is pause and reflect on the true cost of freedom. That's what we ought to be doing on Independence Day. Before the barbecue gets lit, let's pause and reflect. Let's sit down with our children. Let's talk about the true cost of freedom. I think we as a nation take freedom for granted because that's all we've ever known. But Sarah and I have been around folks who weren't free at some point in their lives. We're in Germany in the Fulda Gap in November 1989 when the Warsaw Pact crumbled and the wall came tumbling down. And East Germans came into West Germany to experience freedom for the first time. We had the chance to talk to them about what their life used to be and what their life could be now to have some freedoms. I was in Desert Shield and Desert Storm as we liberated the Kuwaitis. I was in Iraq on several deployments as we tried to give the Iraqi people a taste of freedom. And those folks know how important freedom is. And those folks know the cost of freedom. We have to do that as Americans. We have to pause and reflect tomorrow on what is the true cost of freedom. Remember, less than 1% of the American public have served our nation in uniform, but we all enjoy the freedoms provided by those select few. So let's take the time tomorrow with our children, with our families, with our friends, and talk about the cost of freedom. Let's raise up a prayer for those youngsters right now deployed in harm's way, protecting our freedoms of our way of life. Let's think about truly the cost of freedom. Let's cherish what we have. And let's do what we can do to guarantee our freedoms in the future. That's one of the things I'm concerned about. There are Americans who believe we've always been free and we always will be free, and that's just not true. There are people who hate us out there. They hate our freedoms and our way of life. And we saw that on 9/11, and we could see it again if we don't aggressively take the fight to the enemy so we can ensure that we have our freedoms we have today. We as Americans got to support the defenders. We got to support our first responders to ensure they know how much we appreciate the sacrifices they make to preserve our freedoms. So tomorrow, enjoy barbecue, enjoy the fireworks, but more importantly, take the time to pause and reflect on the true cost of freedom and ensure you dedicate your lives to ensure our freedoms in the future. Take care and God bless.